Ladies and gentlemen, how's it going? Once again, I'm your boy Nev from Nev's Tech. Today we're checking out the D-Link AX5400 router. This is the most powerful router that I've had, and I can't wait to give it a shot. One of the biggest things, most powerful things about this that I want to get is has a USB connection in the back that is USB 3.0, and that is awesome. Now, it's kind of interesting that this came in this case. I mean, this was actually shipped to me just as you see it right here. It was not put into any box, just shipped like this. I'm kind of surprised it made it that way. I mean, I kind of get why Amazon would do it this way, you know, save a little bit of money and whatnot, but I'm kind of afraid that a thief is going to see this at my front door if it's delivered to my front door. This box is giant. Got some good art on the back too. Very nice, very nice. You can hook all of these things up to your single router. Taking a look at the inside, cardboard packing. Always love to see that. Good for the environment. And whoa, this thing's like a mini DVD player. Jeez, it's huge. This is no router. This is a space station. Beautiful, beautiful. Oh, look at those antennae. The bigger the better. We get 4 of them. Looks like we get to screw 2 more in right here. Look at that thing. Wow. Oh yeah, 2 USBs. And 4 ports. For some reason I thought it would have twice that many ports. And we get the reset button, WPS, power, and then input. Good. Okay, so this is interesting. They're color coded. I guess the gold one's supposed to go with the gold and the silver with the silver. That is definitely intriguing. This thing looks like some kind of animal that you would find in Australia that would eat and digest your face. Man, this thing looks so large and in charge that I believe I could get a conspiracy theorist to think I was going to give him cancer with this. I could carry this around and scare conspiracy theorists, chasing them down with it. Wi-Fi waves will give you cancer, my guys, right? Got to admit, I kind of feel like the kid from the movie The Wizard as soon as he put the power glove on. I love the power glove. It's so bad. Now, I always like to set these routers up with a PC, but it really looks like all they want you to do in this case is set it up with a portable device, which is intriguing. Okay, so setup was actually really easy on this. Once I downloaded the app, I had to scan the QR code on that card, and then I had to set up a D-Link account, which is very easy. You can set it up with your Gmail or your Facebook. Next thing it asked me to do was to hook everything together, then unplug everything. That's my router, and that is my modem. So I unplugged both of them, then it asked me to plug my modem in, and then it asked me to plug this router in. And then after that, it got right into it, set up, and bam, right onto this screen. You got options on the top left, install new device, add account, local devices, app settings, help, and you got settings on your top right. Top left, top right. That's where you get most of your stuff. Now, there are more settings when you remote directly into the modem. And there's an easy way to do that. I'll give it to you in a sec. So here you do have a lot of options, many. You can go to your wizard, and in your wizard you'll be setting everything up from scratch. And it's from this location that you can change the name and the password of your unit. And then we can go over to Wi-Fi, and within Wi-Fi we can see all your stuff. You can see all your goodies. And over on internet, those are your options. Guest Wi-Fi, you can turn this on and off. You can turn the guest Wi-Fi off with Amazon Alexa and Google too, which is really cool. And clients, it'll show you everything that you have connected. Oh yeah, so within here, if you go into clients, if you go into Powerful Lenovo, you can set parental control. You can turn it on, and like now you have to set up exactly what your parental controls will be. You have to make profiles for parental controls, which is really cool and definitely really useful for the right people. And then of course we go right into parental control, and it wants you to add some profiles. We come into management. Here we have, I have the latest hardware version 1.04. Very easy to update, very easy to update. And then cloud service. I do not have cloud services right now. So what's really cool is on the bottom we can test internet speeds. That is awesome. And the modem, or sorry, the router will remember the speeds that you get. Alright, next up, now that we have this unit set up and it set itself up automatically, let's see how well it set itself up within the wireless band. Next up, let's take a look at the range that this Wi-Fi gives us. So we see D-Link-A120, and that is this D-Link. We can see it's chosen mostly its own channels, but unfortunately it seems to cross over between 8 and 10. That is not good. You generally want your Wi-Fi band to all be within its own channels. I hear that if your arc is within another arc, it is better than crossing over, being in your own arc that crosses over. However, this one only seems to share about 1, maybe 3 channels max, so I'm not completely concerned about it. Once again, this is the 2.4 band. Let's check over with the 5 band. And here you can see that it's taken over my regular Wi-Fi, your fault. Right now, I'm in the floor that has the D-Link A120, and your fault is one level above me. And it looks like everything is in its own spectrum for the most part, except for the Wi-Fi that I am sharing with myself here. Now, once again, we'll come back to the 2.4G. And yeah, I gotta say though, I really haven't been having any problems, and I've seen setups set themselves up worse than this. Unfortunately, I'm not seeing any place in the options where I can tell it to stick to its own lane and go to its own channel, but maybe with future updates that will change. Okay, so we got setup done on this sweet lady. It's running fine. Now I want to do some speed tests with direct local area network transfers. I've tested the internet, and of course my internet is so woeful that it won't actually test the true power and true might of the AC band, but I'm going to be transferring things locally from servers and from this USB 3.0 M2 card. Now, I made sure that I have a USB 3.0 cable on it, so I expect at least 50 megabytes a second to be able to transfer to this unit at 50 megabytes a second, because it's plugged in to USB 3.0, and that is, geez, what is that? That's like what, 1/8 of what USB 3.0 is supposed to be able to pull off. My computers all have AX Wi-Fi, so I don't think it's too much to ask to expect locally for me to be able to transfer from my server and from this USB 3.0 external hard drive at 50 megabytes a second. Will it do it? Only one way to find out, ladies. Alright, so here's the setup. I got 2 computers. They're literally sitting right next to each other. Here's the home server right here. And then right over here is a server that I do most of my work for the YouTubes and whatnot on. About 10 feet away, over there, I have the router. Everything has Wi-Fi 5 cards in it, so I should be able to get, I'm thinking at least 50 megs. Okay, so the one on the left is Alex. It's my Alexandrian library. You can see that she is rocking it at 1.2 gigabits per second, and we're also 1.2 gigabits per second over here too. I'm going to transfer a file to Alex, and we'll see how it goes. I already got the browser up right now, and the test file good to go. So I'm hitting paste, and let's see what kind of speeds we get. Yeah, I'm not too pleased with that. I mean, it could definitely be a lot better than that. It could definitely be a lot better than that.
1.2 gigabits is 0.15 gigabytes.
So once again, this is the wireless test, unit to unit. I got line of sight. I have Wi-Fi 6 cards and everything. Wi-Fi 6 all the way around. And I'm transferring at less than 20 megabytes a second. Oh, I almost made it up to 20 megabytes a second. Next up, I'm going to go to FileZilla. Unfortunately, FileZilla is the only way that I can transfer files back and forth to the USB drive on this system. And that is a bit unfortunate, because I should be able to use the file share, but I get too many errors and I can't find any way to resolve those errors. Alright, now here I'm going to start the test. I'm going to transfer a file to the USB 3.0 on the router, which is plugged in with the USB 3.0 port, and still I'm not getting very high speed, which is unfortunate. Now I can go and I can take this USB 3, hook it directly in my computer, and get almost about 400 megabytes a second. One or the other, I forget which, but still it was better than this. Okay, now just to prove this thing can handle faster transfer speeds than that, I'm going to plug this unit in directly. 820 megabytes per second. Why can't I get that speed? Okay, so at this point, it's definitely kind of clear that something is bandwidth blocking me. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to be disabling the Wi-Fi on my systems, hooking another Cat5, Cat6 cable up to this unit, running it directly to my other system, and we'll see what I can pull down with that then, directly connected to the D-Link. Alright, ready to go once again, all hardwired in. The speed is 1.0 gigabytes per second. Interesting, it's slower on the hardwire these days. But let's see if it changes anything. Alright, we're moving up. Hardwired, we're doing better. 111 megabytes a second. That's beautiful. So let's check out the user interface on this unit. This is what it looks like when you remote into it. I had to remote into it under 192.168.100.1. And here we can see all of the options that we have available to us. I haven't unplugged it in a day and 17 hours. That's good to see. There's a lot of user-friendly things on here that'll give you an idea of exactly what's going on without having to look too technical. Of course, we have our USB device. Once again, I can't get this system working under the Windows file share. I keep getting an error. I have, however, had success getting the UPnP working. Here it is in Windows Media Player. You can see I'm in on it, and you can see that I got all the good stuff. It's connecting, so if you use that, if you use UPnP, hey, it's great. But Windows File Share, I can't get it to work. It's the nicest way to do things. At the end of the day, how many people actually use this and how many people actually need this? Maybe that's why they haven't fully developed it. Now, when I say that, I mean I'm a little disappointed with the way they set this up. In TP-Link, where you have these options, you can hit enable and it'll give you an address like right here about what you have to do to get this working, and then you can just put that in a file browser and it'll actually work and it'll actually take you to the location. But maybe D-Link is worried more about security. You get users in this. You get different users in this, and it definitely seems like there's not an easy way to get this done without using a username and password, unless you're on the UPnP media server. That part seems to work great. Next up, we can see all the clients that are connected to us right now, and we can add parental control, reverse IP. And if we have any extenders, we can take a look at them right here. However, I don't have any of those. Let's take a look around at the settings. We don't need to go to the wizard. The internet. Let's just go through the options. There's some people that love to see all of the options. I'll just fire through real quick. Network. USB sharing. Oh yeah, we were already there. D-Link Cloud, I don't have anything with that. Quality of service engine. Now this is cool. I definitely like to see this. So I get this activated, but it seems like things fall off of here. I mean, these are all the people who are connected right now. I hope when they come back they're going to reoccupy their space, but I put my wife's phone and something else here. Of course, I got my Xbox One as number 1. That thing's technically always on, so it's always here. But I wonder, what if we have 4 things that are in high security that when they come back, they get dumped on high security? And what if we get one too many people? How will one get bumped into medium? Or maybe this is just for people who are connecting at the moment. So many questions I got now. I'm surprised that happened. I thought I was going to remember everything. Let's check out the firewall options. MP4 filtering, port forwarding. I've had to do this for the Xbox. Now, one thing I noticed is when I look at the Microsoft page, it gives me multiple TCP port and UDP port numbers to put in here, but this would only let me use one. I should say I haven't been having any problems that I know of on Xbox right now with this information. Website filtering. This is what you want to add if you want to tick your wife off because she's watching too much TikTok. I wouldn't know anything about that though. Static rules. Yeah, just static rules for IPv4. And yeah, and I myself am not addicted to anything ever. Dynamic link, quick VPN, management, time and schedule, system logs, system admin, user, upgrade. Very easy to upgrade here. As soon as there's a new upgrade, you go check for new firmware. Hopefully new firmware will come out to make the Wi-Fi faster from computer to computer. And statistics. Ooh, honestly, I never seen this one before. Not a whole lot's going on my network right now, but that's definitely some slick info that I might like to have. Anyways, I guess next up we should be talking about range of this unit, right? So basically the internal range works like this. I have this in the back corner of my basement of my townhouse, 1,500 square feet, and I run out of range when I go to the adjacent spot in the top floor, the second floor, upstairs. I just totally lose all Wi-Fi. So if you're going to use something like this in a townhouse or in a house, make sure that you put it at the standard floor level and not in the basement. Okay, so I'm out beyond my backyard right now. You can see the D-Link on the left is suffering compared to the TP-Link. I have both of these units upstairs in that window pointing outwards right now. And I want to see the max range that I can get if I basically have unlimited space. So let's take a look at the 5G. That's not looking good already. Like the D-Link already down in the -90. And here we can see it looks like the TP-Link is actually providing the superior signal right now. Okay, so this is about the place where all AC Wi-Fi tends to die at. I hope I don't have to go any further because it's pretty schloopy, but let's take a look. In the 2G spectrum, the D-Link is holding up and I'm not seeing the TP-Link. That's 2.4. However, within the 5G, I'm not seeing TP-Link is still standing up and D-Link is gone. Oh, T-Link's coming back there. I guess I have to go out further. Yeah, so at this distance, they start coming and going. I haven't seen this before, but now they disappear for a minute and then they come back. Maybe it's because the field has been shaved down. Haven't had it happen like this before, but yeah, they just disappear and come back. So it seems to me like the D-Link was the one that was kicking out the most, but it was getting some good, reasonable distance. It's unfortunate that it can't reach the opposite side to my house when I have it in the corner of the basement, but I guess that's somewhat reasonable. Anyways, not a bad router. We've been using it for a while and we haven't had any complaints. My wife hasn't been complaining. She says it uploads faster than the old one did. Most importantly for something like this, it also comes down to, so just how reliable is it? And for that, I'd say this sucker's pretty reliable. I haven't had problems with it, and I can't say that about most of the other routers I've ever bought. I like it. And yeah, we get Google Assistant, but the most useful thing that you could do with Google Assistant or Alexa is to disable your children's Wi-Fi or to turn on your guest network with just a word, or with just by asking Amazon or asking Alexa to turn it on. That's pretty cool, but it's not worth it for me to plug it in. I'll never use that feature. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, I definitely recommend this unit if you have the money. I got it for $250. I see it selling for $300, sometimes a little more, sometimes a little less. Give her a try. It's good stuff. I like it. Anyways, that's it for me, folks. Like and subscribe if you like this stuff. And as always, take care of each other, folks.